All right, right out the gate, I'm gonna have to warn you guys. I barely got any sleep last night. So I had one of those scary dreams where it's like, it feels so real that it just like fucks with you, right? And so I wake up in my dream. It's like everything's normal. Rusty's right next to me. Gabby's right next to me. But there's this beautiful light coming out of my walk-in closet, right? And so it's just so beautiful that I had to walk through, and I just had to see what was on the other side. And when I crossed through the light, it's like this indescribable moment, guys. It's like drinking hot cocoa next to a healthy campfire, right? It's just so warm, right? And it was fire. It was a lake of fire, guys. The smell of sulfur, piles of bone, endless screams of agony. Oh, this light didn't drive me to heaven. It drew me to hell. Before me stood a pyre with 4 women bound to it. Their face looked peaceful, unaware of the horrors surrounding. And suddenly a demon, he was at least 9 feet tall, he approached me. And before I could speak, he looked down at me and said, "Before you stand for Helens, their fate is in your hands and you must choose. Fuck, marry, kill, and kill." So pull out your best lipstick, your sharpest hooks, and your dirtiest pillows, because today, everything goes to hell for Helen.
The boogeyman is real, and you found it. My worst dream come true. I'm everything.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
I'm Chucky, wanna play?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It's the happy horror hour.
Wait, hold on. We have to fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, this is a horror podcast. You don't get to save anyone. No, you have to kill 2 of them. That's a nightmare, bitch.
Everything goes to hell for Helen. Welcome in to Happy Horror Hour. We're gonna fuck, marry, kill. 4 Helens of the week. We watched 4 movies, all starring a character named Helen. The movies we watched this week were Night of the Demons, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Candyman, and Carrie. We'll kind of be pulling from all of those and let you know Helen's journey, and by the end of it, we'll let you know who we're gonna fuck, marry, kill.
Wait, we're not going to do that right out the gate? I thought that's what we did right
So
out
that's
the
where we're
gate.
starting.
Or maybe by the start of it.
Which, by the way, super easy kill to get right out of the way is the Carrie Helen.
Helen! What?
Just out of the pureness of my heart, I have to marry Helen from Night of the Demons, because damn, did that girl just get like the shitty end of the stick, you know? Always.
You know, I'm so with you, Zach. Like, I actually liked her because she also was like, she was one of the first people to be like, you guys are so dumb for conjuring up shit on Halloween. Like,
100%.
and then she tries to dip out. So she's marriage material.
The Helen in Night of the Demons brought the strobe light, guys. She is the most important character in that film. Without Helen and Night of the Demons, there would be no strobe light and
Solid
basically
point.
no movie.
Solid point.
Although, I will point out, you kind of said that, oh, she had it the worst. Let's see, the Helen and Candyman. Let's just do quick survey. She almost gets beaten to death. She gets framed for kidnapping and institutionalized by her cheating husband. Gets framed for multiple murders and ends up burning to death to save a child. And then becomes cursed or blessed with immortality through legend or something like that. But yeah, no, definitely falling from the sky and dying once. Yeah, it's so terrible.
Cursed or blessed. That's probably the best fucking way to like sum up what the Candyman is.
Except Matt's forgetting one very important thing about Candyman was that Helen was 100% a white woman getting into business she shouldn't be getting into.
I'm right there with you.
Which,
yeah, for sure.
She gets everything she deserves. Everybody kept telling her no, and she kept going anyways, and shit kept getting worse. I want to marry Night of the Demons, Helen.
Oh,
Fuck Sarah Michelle Gellar from I Know What You Did Last Summer, obviously. Kill Helen from Candyman and kill Carrie.
yeah.
Yeah, Carrie Helen.
I kind of want to start with this Helen because this Helen is top of the world Helen. This is pageant winner Helen. Has all her friends planning trip to Europe. I'm about to get impregnated and have 3 kids with motherfucking Ryan Felipe.
In today's podcast, you are going to learn how to pronounce
Ryan Philippi.
Like, this Helen has the best setup of any Helen we have this week. Am I wrong?
What I noticed at the very beginning of I Know What You Did Last Summer was I was like, wow, like everybody is so supportive, like including Julie, right? Which is Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I was like, is that weird that I'm surprised that she's so supportive of her friend winning a pageant for like something so...
You're in a fucking small ass town or fish town or whatever and you won pageant. Like,
no.
Okay. Oh, is that not where we were going with it?
No, not quite, but yeah.
I just realized I might have to change my Mary because I realized that her idea of dirty talk is impregnate me. And I'm like, no,
she said
no, dude,
No.
pull out and run,
No. Here's the thing. She went that way, but also remember one of the best lines in the movies. Hey, let's go get in the back seat so you can do things to me. I'm just saying.
Okay, Ben, I gotta top you here. The beginning of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I know we're focusing on Helen, but there's this dumb side character, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and she's on the side of the rock. This is at the beginning of the film. She's on the side of the rock with Freddie Prinze Jr., and Freddie Prinze goes, did you know that a high school relationship has the highest success rate of any relationship? And Jennifer Love Hewitt goes, cite your source, and he pulls his fucking dick out. Power move. That's a power move. Freddie Prinze Jr. out here, he's leading the way for toxic masculinity.
Point for Zach.
I was going to say point for Zach.
No, what's funny is I put it out, like I wrote in my notes, I was like, damn, this story is hella lame. Like when they're going through the campfire, it's so bad. And then I was like, I am so ashamed of myself because I'm totally that little bitch like Freddie Prinze Jr. Like he's totally like, guys, like it could be real. It starts somewhere. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, that's me. I need to change myself.
I do think, honestly, out of all the movies that we watched this week, this is definitely the worst of the 4.
But it was the most sentimental for you, right, Ben? I mean, you kinda...
honestly, the reason I gave it the score that I did is because, like, this movie fucking stuck with me through the years. Like, Matt and I watched this movie in a fucking cheap-ass hotel room in God knows where, and it fucking scared the shit out. I had nightmares about this movie for fucking years. I still think about this hooked motherfucker coming up and just gutting me like a fish. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, I'm 33 years old now. I should not be afraid of something like this. And it still scares the shit out of me. But going back and watching it, I was like, yeah, it's a little less scary. But I'll give it its props.
I did not realize that was our generation's 4th of July killer. Like, you know, every holiday has a killer. That's the Independence Day killer, I guess. I know this was a movie that I was looking forward to watching this week, and I know it was a movie Gabby was also looking forward to watching this week. What did you think, Gabby? What were your initial thoughts off of that?
When I watched this movie, I realized, wow, I've watched Scary Movie a lot.
Oh my god,
dude! Yes.
Oh my god, we hit a boat! Where's the foot?
Hold on. Point for Gabby because yes,
point.
Fucking yes.
So I went and looked this up, right? So fucking Jennifer Love Hewitt, one of the first things that she says after they like fucking massacre a dude, right, is if there's some of him on the car, there's some of the car on him.
If there's some of him on the car, there's some of the car on him. They're gonna trace it back to you. You're looking at a hit and run.
And here's the thing. That's not the first time she's killed someone. because she came to that conclusion so fast, and Forensic Files came out in 1996, which means there was only one season, which means she came to that conclusion on her own. She has definitely killed someone before.
I don't know. Did you see how depressed Jennifer Love Hewitt looks in that movie? Like, she definitely doesn't look like somebody that's murdered before.
That's true. She went through it.
They actually intentionally went through and removed like all of the bright lights, and they wanted a very dark, depressing like color palette for the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the freaking death, right? Of like how they just fucking dump him, right? So this older dude, been hit by a car, left for dead, drowning in a fucking, where they talk about really strong currents, right? And then 1 year later, he is like quicker than a cheetah and like more silent than a ninja. Like, it is fucking ridiculous. Like, how does an old dude move so fast and fucking quietly? And also, can I have whatever he has to clean crime scenes instantaneously?
So there's a part in this film when they open up the trunk of a car and there's a dead body and there's a shit ton of crabs on this dead body.
And the crab crawls out of his goddamn mouth. Are you kidding me?
Wait. They come back like 2 minutes later, and immediately my note I wrote down is, "Oh my god, this killer is incredible at car trunk detailing and crab wrangling." Like, he just cleans that up so fast.
He hired the wolf, bro.
Yeah.
I'm Winston Wolf. I solve problems.
This is a 1-star movie for me. And not to say that I didn't enjoy my time watching this horrible movie, but do I want to watch this shit again? No. Come on. Do better, guys.
Okay, so I definitely couldn't give it a 4, but I was leaning more towards a 2. The movie is bad. It is not good. Like, you're watching it, and there's just so much about it that you're like, okay, seriously, what the fuck? But this movie scared me so much as a child, and it stuck with me for so long. And it's like, for me, like, when you watch it, it's 100% 90s slasher. And that's where I just, like, I look at it, and I'm like, I gotta give it to them, man. Fuck it. Like, they set the bar for that 90s slasher film, and it scared the shit out of me as a kid. Fuck it. I gotta give them 3 stars.
You just said I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was released in 1997, set the bar for 90s slasher film. And I believe Wes Craven's Scream just rolled over in its fucking grave. Excuse you, sir. Excuse you. Sorry,
Ben,
I have to stand up for real horror film
Do you have
fans
points yet?
out
Are
here.
you trying to lose one?
I'm taking a point away
take
from you.
points
You don't
away.
even have one for me to take away. Good Lord. I'm sorry, but for the horror community, I'm standing with you.
The next episode is Zach angrily yells at Ben about 90s horror movies.
I'm sorry, Ben, but Scream was definitely the slasher tone set in the 90s. Not I Know
But
What
that's
You
the
Did
thing,
Last
though,
Summer.
is Scream was supposed to be like a mock of it. Whereas I Know What You Did Last Summer was not.
I don't, just so the audience knows the general premise of this movie in case they missed this gem of 1997, the film that set the tone for horror slashers, quoted by Ben Allison.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Just in case you missed the film that set the tone of horror slashers. I love you, dude. This movie has, 4 teens, and they hit this elderly fisherman accidentally drunk partying one night. They dump his body in a body of water, and the next year on 4th of July, the same day that they hit him, he comes back with a hook to kill them all. So that's pretty much the premise of the movie. There's a moment where he's running through a shop to kill Sarah Michelle Gellar, our Helen, and he took the time to find an empty plastic bag and put it over himself and stand still like he was a mannequin just so he could scare her.
Solid point.
I was so good. Like, what the fuck?
And not only that, but like, if anybody's ever seen like an actual human being underneath a plastic bag and a mannequin underneath a plastic bag, it's not convincing. Like, you can definitely point out which one is the dude.
So I want to ask something for each movie, even though we didn't prepare for it. But for this film, when do you guys think things started going to hell for Helen?
Ooh.
Right after they fucking hit the guy.
I was gonna say when she had to take part in taking the initiative for hiding a dead body. I think that's really when you're like 18 years old and have to hide a dead body, I'm pretty sure that's when things go to hell for you.
Actually, I'd like to retract my previous statement. I think when things really went to hell for Helen was when her sister wouldn't let her in the goddamn shop when the fucking guy was chasing her with a hook. Like, that's really, because ultimately, like, if she was just hiding a body naturally, like, okay, like, they got rid of a body. Cool. It is what it is. It's done. But the body came back and is now chasing her through the fucking town, and she's trying to get in the goddamn place where her sister works and she works. And apparently there's a key that you need to get to let them in. Like, that is where things went to hell.
When she's trying to get into that shop, she's trying to get into her sister's shop. The killer's running after her. Her sister's name is Elsa, and she's banging on the door saying, Elsa, Elsa, please let me in. Is this actually the seed story for Frozen?
God damn it.
Was this...
It's canon. It's canon.
Actually...
No, so...
this is canon, right?
Do you want to build a fisherman?
Come on, just let me in. I just can't be here anymore. He's coming at the door. I'm gonna die.
Dude,
I don't know.
Shitty siblings and hooks are definitely a through line in this episode.
Yes, they
absolutely.
are.
I thought one interesting thing I kept seeing Julie do, which is Jennifer Love Hewitt, was
She was watching the Julie episode,
Yeah,
by the way.
I
She wasn't watching the Helen episode.
I'm sorry, were we not all watching the Julie episode?
Is that horrible? I picked her as my fuck, and so I'm like, I'm really treating her like a piece of meat, and that's so wrong. I'm a terrible woman.
I would marry Julie James. I'm just saying that right now.
The problem I have with this movie, I shit you not, I watched the whole movie thinking that
really?
Jennifer Love Hewitt was the Helen. I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, I fucking love this Helen. She knows what's going
we
on.
talked about this before we watched the movie.
All right, hold on. Let Gabby finish. What were you? You had one interesting note on it.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Julie is a lot like Roger from Night of the Demons, where she likes to run away from her problems, like mid-conversation.
Love Raj.
Like 3 separate times in that movie, she runs away from Freddie Prinze Jr. like mid-conversation. Just like...
I want to actually... I think, Gabby, you killed it. Can we talk about Night of the
Yes,
Demons?
let's do it.
Raj is the character that you see in a horror movie where you're like, yes, he gets it. Oh, shit's going down. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Give me your car keys.
Dude,
I'm leaving.
So did Sal. Like, that's the thing is, like, in that movie, a lot of characters realize half of them realize they're like, oh, I'm in a horror movie, and the other half are like, I'm in a porn. Like, half of them were in a horror movie, and half of them were in a porno, and they play their parts perfectly.
Like, for fucking sure, dude. Like, that is like the best. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give Matt a point on that because that is the best summary of this movie. Half the fucking cast is like, we're filming a fucking horror movie. The other half is like, oh, we're filming a porno. This is dope.
I just want to look cute for the
100%.
boys.
Can we say one thing that the problem with Suzanne's character is that her only character trait for the first half of the movie is her butt.
No, how about this? There's 2 words that I would like to throw out there to sum up this movie. Nipple lipstick.
Bro,
that's it.
We're just gonna go right there.
To
like
nipple?
you don't. So Ben is just no foreplay. This is just like jamming it in.
Shove it in raw.
We're just shove it in just like a lipstick into a boobie.
Just remember, Ben, she circled the whole chest first. You went right to putting it in.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like the whole time leading up
I'm gonna
to
give
it,
a
I
point
was
for
like,
Matt.
oh, this
Point
is
for Matt.
crazy. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, this is for real crazy. Like, what the fuck is happening? Did the titty just
Did
eat
Matt
the
just
lipstick?
get a point for nipple foreplay?
Yes.
Which, by the way, fun fact. So obviously that's like special effects, right? So she had to get a mold and everything.
You motherfucker, you stole my shit.
Yeah. So she met her husband. Her husband was the one that did the mold for her chest. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty sick. Back in the 80s, you didn't get to test the titties out like you do nowadays with pictures and everything. Like, he got hooked up. He's like, all right, these are good. All right, yeah, I can definitely marry this. Let's do this.
You're looking at it from the wrong perspective. He is so good at taking care of those titties. That she was like, I have to lock this down. She was in control.
You made my tits look so good.
Point for Gabby.
Point for Gabby.
Eat a bowl of fuck!
Yes, I love that line, dude. That was one of the best lines.
Which is a great line from Night of the Demons.
I think the only line that's better, and it kind of led me down a friggin' thought the whole movie, was bodacious boobies.
Bodacious boobies, yeah.
No. Bodacious boobies, sis.
Wow, bodacious boobies, sis.
That's a little brother talking to his sister.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to add in the sis.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said bodacious boobies, sis.
And low-key, Billy is the best character of this movie.
Billy also asks, are you dating my sister for her personality or her cha-chas?
Yeah, are you dating her for her personality? Because she has big cha-chas.
So yeah, I think realest motherfucker of the week is our boy Billy.
Hell yeah.
I agree.
He sold
I
her
agree with
sister out for $1. Talk about shitty siblings again. One fucking $1.
Dude, okay, remember, this was back in the 80s, so you gotta adjust for inflation. That's probably
What, so it's like
$5 now.
$5? A little shit?
Yeah, both of us have the same fucking number. Good job, buddy.
Did you see them at the beginning of this movie? Why were they so mean to that old man?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Dude, wait, hold on. I have something to say about that. The first note that I took was this poor old man, fucking teenagers. And then literally my second note was, okay, maybe not. I would like to retract my previous statement. This guy was a fucking
Yeah.
Like when you start getting into
Whoa,
it, fuck
everything
that guy.
goes to hell for that old man. We'll get there.
So I will say one of my notes was or is public elder abuse this common? Like, is this something that needs to be addressed? Like, is this like one of those causes we need to get on? Because in this movie, and in fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer, he tackles an old dude who basically looks like he's having a
there's
heart attack.
elderly abuse, and I Know What You Did.
And they just they just cut away like that dude isn't having a heart attack and is probably gonna need like medical help. Like Ryan Felipe just fucking walks it off like it's nothing.
Ryan Felipe was going for that. Ryan Felipe was going for the Oscar in that movie
because he keeps pronouncing it wrong, and I want to keep get it going.
Wait, hold on. Is it Felipe or is it Felipe?
Felipe.
It's Felipe.
Felipe.
Oh,
there's another
one. It's Felipe.
But it should be Ryan Felipe.
It's Felipe. Felipe.
No, it's Felipe.
Felipe. Oh,
I'm going Felipe.
Honestly, I don't even care. Like I'd out of that guy.
Wait.
Goddamn.
Who would you rather do? Ryan Felipe or Ryan Felipe?
Point for Matt.
Fuck Mary Kill.
Ryan Felipe.
Speaking of, this movie has great representation. I don't know if you noticed. There were no stereotypes and diversity.
I was like, the four main characters are white. What do you mean? What?
No, dude, the black character lives all the way till the end.
Oh,
and there's an Asian character.
I was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Night of the Demon still.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah,
sorry.
So Zach and I were on the same point. I was like, wait, everybody's white in this movie.
I was like, good joke, Gabby. I was circling back because Matt wanted to, he said he had a list of funnies for us. Matthew, give us your funnies.
God damn it. I'll rapid fire. So one of the things that I noticed all throughout I Know What You Did Last Summer is everybody in the movie looks suspicious and they like hold on them for like a long time. Like even the sister, like they make it look like the sister's the murderer, and the first kill.
Anne Hesh?
Yeah,
Anne Hesh?
Like Anne Hesh.
In today's podcast, you are going to learn how to pronounce
Anne Hesh.
They did it. No, like the sister too, like fucking Helen's sister. They
Helen's
made
sister.
her
Yeah,
look
yeah.
suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone has that like moment where they're like supposed to look suspicious, and I'm like, oh, these are like supposed to be red herrings, but they're obviously not. And like,
I wrote a lot of long distance gazes in this film. Like, it's just like a lot of staring. Look behind you, and technically that cop was looking behind him.
Yeah.
So that was kind of rude of her because the killer was in front of him and and she's behind him, and she's like, "Look behind you!"
Look
and he's like,
behind
I'm looking at you."
Oh, I got hooked to death. Oh no!
Which the first death really bothered me because I was like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't witness anything. He just kept driving. That kill was added after the fact because they're like,
Galecki?
Yeah,
oh,
because
Johnny
they're like,
Galecki, dude.
that first kill was added after the fact because they're like, oh shit, like, if we just keep doing this, he's just going to be a kind of a creepy dude that's like following them. And it like, there's going to be like no kill until like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie where we
I
start
like how the writers totally missed the opportunity to have Galecki be, could he be the pseudo killer plotline for the whole film.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just kill that off immediately. And it's like, wait, we could have like been led to believe that he's the one killing them because he witnessed them and he's jealous and isn't in their friend group. But you just said, 20 minutes in, fuck that storyline. Like, let's just stare.
Well, their whole purpose behind it was the fact that like they didn't feel like the characters were in enough danger, so people didn't think that these main characters had enough going on, so they're just going to kill this guy and say, "Oh, danger's here. Danger's real." But it's a side character that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Having him be the killer would have probably been better
Yeah.
to make up for this convoluted storyline
Old
that they had going
fisherman
on.
with a hook.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like this random dude.
Which, by the way, you can totally miss the fact that that guy killed the dude that committed suicide, quote unquote, in the beginning. He actually murdered that guy, and then they hit him.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, so they hit this guy after he murdered someone. So it's kind of like karma, instantaneously.
When you actually go to the wiki, they don't even properly say how he died. They don't say that the killer kills him. They say that he drowns. And so I was like, no, he got killed by the killer, right?
Yeah, no, he did.
For sure. Like, honestly,
well,
I
he
missed
probably,
that
I think
the
he
first
pushed him
watch
off the
through.
cliff,
Yeah.
Gabs.
Oh,
He pushed him off the
okay.
cliff.
He was, he was thinking about it and then he did it because I think they made it look like obviously like something was left behind that he probably would have taken with him. Two things that I like wanted to point out, just like observations real quick. They couldn't let Buffy go down without a fight because she was just like, she'd just become Buffy. Everyone knew her as Buffy. So they like literally had to show her like fighting her way. And it's like, did she or did she not get killed? And then how did Jennifer Love Hewitt come out of this doing better? I mean, this is literally trauma on top of trauma. She should be worse off. She should be in it, like, it should like be the thing cutting through and she should be waking up in like a fucking straitjacket in a facility. Like, that's where this movie should have ended.
I think that's where it should have ended. I agree.
Honestly, no, like for me, like that fucking end scene where the dude comes through the fucking glass gets me every time. It still gets me to this day.
Time.
In fact, I was sitting there. I was like, I know it's coming. I fucking know it's coming. It's gonna be there. He's gonna fucking jump through the. God damn it! Fuck!
You know what scared the shit out of me was in Night of the Demons when that woman who's all in black, kind of like a bride, is floating down the hallways.
Oh,
Angela.
Fuck that. Yeah. Oh,
Angela
my God.
apparently appears in all of the sequels, and I didn't realize she was the main focus of this film until I read the trivia.
I'm not sure what the main focus of that film
There are
was.
so many people to keep track of in this movie.
Titty lipstick was the main focus of this film.
Hashtag titty lipstick.
Yes, we need to get that going.
So I was a huge fan of the dancing character or whatever, Angela.
She was great.
And I was sitting there and like what I do. So what's his name? Stooge. I just refer to him as Piggy in my notes. So I'm just gonna call him Piggy.
What an asshole. God, I hate him.
Fuck
Dude,
that guy. I was waiting for that motherfucker to die the whole film.
So like one of like he has the famous "eat a bowl of fuck" quote, but also like one thing I noticed about this movie is there are so many fart and poop jokes, and then like like they sprinkle some toxic masculinity, but like fart and poop jokes like nonstop. Like that's a fucking drinking game in this movie. It's like every time there's a fart or poop joke.
But it's also what I really liked about this movie, weirdly enough, it kind of was really accurate to like what being a teenager is like and going and sneaking out and grabbing.
Yeah.
Well, other than that really bizarre like stealing scene that Angela was literally
That's
like
what I
filling
did
her
as a
whole
teenager.
candy bag.
Supermarket.
I used to actually put a tutu on. I'd put panties on, and then I would bend over right in front of the cashier. This worked every time. And Matt would run around to about 10 to 12 aisles, right? 10 to 12 aisles.
Supermarket sweep, dude.
So get ready, because you never know what's going to happen on Supermarket Sweep.
Supermarket sweep.
I'd lift my ass up and we'd get out of there because that's
dude.
what you do.
I would find the fucking double, like the value items every time. I'd go for bulk, the shit that, is really heavy and it's expensive. It's supermarket sweep, baby. Every time.
So Night of the Demons is just so we're all on the same page.
Amazing movie.
It's amazing. Group of teenagers go party in this possibly haunted house. It crosses this. There's a threshold where evil is on the other side of the threshold. What was the water source that was the threshold? Do you guys know? Like it was like
a creek or a river, right?
It was
something like
a riverbed that they couldn't. It was a river that couldn't be crossed by the.
That couldn't be by the evil, by this evil spirit. So they go there and they conjure up a demon, demons who possess them, and they all end up killing each other. We talked about Raj earlier. Raj is the only one in my mind. He's the final girl to me because without Raj, But without Raj, the other girl doesn't survive, right? Like, there's no way. Raj is the final girl.
But here's the thing. Raj also kind of lives based off of pure luck because his only method for escaping is to run away and escape. He never actually helps until the very end of the movie. He mostly just runs away and is like, fuck you. He's a smart guy, but he's mostly lucky.
He gets it. That's the thing. Raj gets it.
I appreciate that because it's not it's not cowardly to run for your life, but the stereotypical cowardice is usually portrayed for women, oh, help me, blah blah blah. So to have a male character that's just so needs to be she rescues him, he has the breakdown and she pulls out the fucking flamethrower. So to see that dynamic is really interesting because, like you said, it's it almost as if she was he was the survivor girl and she's the macho ass fucking dude. That's how it normally be, and it was really refreshing to see, and also what the fuck, that's not something I would expect to see in the 80s.
Point for Matt.
We can do that.
That was a good point.
I'll concur.
I didn't notice that.
So, I feel like we're a little off base here because what the fuck was going on with Helen in this movie? And how did she die?
Was it the fall that killed her or the sudden stop?
Her face was bloody before that fall.
Yeah.
Poor Helen, she dies off screen and then gets thrown on top of a car. That's what happens to our poor Helen.
So I watched this movie first. And there's a moment where Raj and Helen are going to leave the party. They're not having it. And they're searching around the grounds to get out. All of a sudden, the gate that they came into this haunted house grounds is gone. And they're going along the brick wall. And Helen, of all people, this is the first movie I watched for Everything Goes to Hell for Helen Week. She goes, "We're already dead. We've all died and gone to hell."
Don't you understand, Raj? We're dead. We've all died and gone to hell.
Oh,
bro.
Fuck. This is sick.
Helen said the same thing. I was like, fucking Helen gets it. That was such a fucking astute observation from her. It's no, we're already dead. We're just in hell. I'm like, dude, oh shit.
Oh, she
pitched this episode over 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
She's honestly she was one of the smartest Helens that we had this week, if not the smartest Helen we've had this week.
But I mean, smart, but she's also in an extremely abusive. She was in an extremely abusive relationship.
Okay, I was trying to figure out if she was with Stooge or not, and when I figured out that she was with him, I was like, "Don't be with that pig boy. Are you kidding me?"
So this movie has one of the gnarliest. I think for me, one of the gnarliest end scenes of all the movies we watched this week. Oh. The old man who was getting the shit kicked out of him at the beginning of the film and was a total dick about it. At the end of the film is all of a sudden having a very nice homemade pie made for him by his loving elderly wife. And she sets the pie down and, well, does anyone want to finish that?
So as he's eating the pie, right? a razor comes out of his throat and practically cuts his fucking head off with the amount of blood just coming from one razor, right?
One razor blade.
One razor blade practically cuts his head off, and he face falls in, and the wife was just like, "Ah, that's what you get." And I had trouble standing up afterwards because was so like the fact that they put the extra effort in to just be like, yeah, you know what? Why don't we put like an awesome cold open for another movie at the end just for fun? Like that's
Point for Matt.
That's
Point
so
for Matt.
fucking cool.
What? So this was not the only film that had razor blades in Candy. There was another film this week.
I was going to point out that's another through line in Candyman.
Candyman was another film we watched starring a great Helen. This one actually had a Helen in the forefront of the movie.
For once.
So we had two movies with like a background Helen and two movies with a Helen as the star. So I think it kind of worked out, it worked out. It evened itself out. So in Candyman, this Helen, I wrote, well, this Helen's just trying to do an important thesis on local poverty. There's nothing wrong here. She's just trying to do some social studies.
Maybe like white women should stay out of places they shouldn't be. Maybe that should be something they do.
Did you see that she brought her black friend with her to the projects? I'm just saying.
And she acted like she was shocked when her friend came loaded and came packed with her into the projects, and she's like, why, and like, we're dressed like cops. Like, trust your black friend. She knows what she's talking about.
She's like, we can just go into whatever rooms we want and take giant flash pictures. It's okay. These are just people's homes.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that's white privilege right there. Just being able to walk into a crime scene like it's nothing.
100%.
Like that's fucked up, dude. But I can't understand, like, as a sociology major, I can't, I will not justify anything she's done, but I can understand that curiosity because right out the gate, I'm like, dude, I would 100% take that class and love everything about it because that type of stuff is super fascinating. I mean, it's why true crime podcasts are so fucking popular and it's why horror movies are so popular. Like, the way shit goes wrong is just so much more interesting than things going right.
Ew.
Definitely. This Helen is I'm conflicted on this Helen. Do I like her? Do I hate her? Does it look like she's probably killed people before, like in her sleep? She just so comfortably kept waking up at crime scenes.
Once again, there's a lot of characters in movies that have backstories involving murder that we just yada yada.
Yada, yada, yada. I never heard from him again.
Yeah, exactly. There's a moment where Helen she's murdered already, and like she's murdered and been caught like with a knife in her hand 2 times already. She's in a crazy hospital. She's talking to her psychiatrist. Candyman comes behind the psychiatrist and kills him in front of her. Was I the only one expecting Helen to go and grab a knife and just stand over him and wait until the cops came? just wait to be caught. Just like, oh, hi, again. Helen, stop killing Helen, stop.
I hate how confused she acts. Like, why am I being arrested? It's like, you woke up covered in blood at a crime scene.
Oh my gosh, I definitely didn't summon the Candyman in the projects. That's not something I did. What?
Which, by the way, I'm going to say this right now. I'm never, ever looking in the mirror and saying Gabby 5 times. Because I've probably been a decent husband. But I'm like, there's probably things that she holds against me.
Yeah, that's something that trash husbands do, like Helen's husband.
Ones that
he's
cheat
a trash
on their wives with a fucking college student.
By the way, I think he wins the biggest asshole husband in film history because only a true asshole brings his girlfriend to his wife's funeral.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude. I'm like, he must have seen the whole Wedding Crashers thing before it was even out. He's like, dude, bring him to a funeral. Oh my god, I miss her so much. I'm totally fucking this chick later.
Ma, the meatloaf! Fuck!
Like, Gabby, what would it be like as a girlfriend? Like, what would it be like as a female from that perspective, going to a dude's wife's funeral?
I wouldn't, because I would never be with a trash husband like Trevor.
In case things have gotten jumbled, the premise for Candyman is Helen is doing research on a killer called Candyman. Candyman. So let's all clear this up together, because I was a little confused. Candyman's origin is a descendant of a slave?
Yes.
So that's the thing, is like this movie is really like they took it and adapted it from a Clive Barker story, and they made it, instead of more like, you know, somewhat class, but they kind of emphasized it through the lens of like racism instead. And so it was, you know, it was all caused by an interracial relationship. And then, you know, kind of at the end, there is almost this kind of interracial relationship again with Helen. There is this kind of completion. It's almost like she's it reminded me of like the whole, like almost like the Mummy, where she's like reincarnated as, you know, the bride. It seems almost like, you know, like it was always you, Helen. It was kind of like
A knocks in the moon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, damn, you can pronounce that way better than I can.
Damn it!
A knocks on the moon.
But yeah, you can totally edit that out. But I just thought it was really interesting that, you know, the kind of
we got to keep it in, because I actually pronounced that really well.
the legend starts with an interracial relationship, and it ends with an interracial relationship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Candyman was a romantic, right? We all felt that.
It really was.
No,
I would say that it was the rom-com of this.
The rom horror. Is that rom?
I was going to say, there was not any comedy in this movie.
There wasn't, dude. This movie was like sheer terror the entire time, and it was great.
I was going to say,
I'm the lowest rated on this movie. So what did you guys like about it? Because I'm low, and I want to hear what you guys like.
This movie was executive produced by Clive Barker, so I already kind of know what to expect when I watch a Clive Barker film, right? Because I've seen Hellraiser before. I've also this was my second time watching this movie. Giving this a second watch was so much better. And also, Clive Barker's style is very specific. His movies have a very specific kind of tone to them, and Candyman is very similar to Hellraiser in a lot of ways. And I'm down for that. So that's what I enjoyed about it. And I thought the story was really good. Like, it tackled some themes of like gentrification and stuff. So I thought that was cool.
I liked it. Like, I feel like once again, I'm always a sucker for pacing, and I feel like this this movie had some pacing issues, which kind of gave me a little bit of rounded down. I ended up with going 3 stars. Tony Todd's voice is amazing. The line,
"Oh yeah,
come with me and be immortal," like, is just such a good line.
Come with me and be immortal.
What's really cool, I think, is that Helen actually looks like a Cenobite at the end, and the Candyman exchanging legend status with her is actually similar to something in a Hellraiser comic that I read, where Pinhead and Kirsty actually switch places. Like, the villain and the main character switch places as good and evil. And so I was like, oh shit, did like he take that inspiration from the Candyman movie, like when they did that? Because I thought that was a really cool arc of like, okay, the hero becomes the villain, and now they're the one, like Helen became the Candyman, and then they did sequels. But like,
is that kind of like the dreaded Pirate Roberts from Princess Bride?
Which can we watch that movie?
Yes.
Zach mentioned it. We have to watch it.
I love Princess Bride.
Yeah.
So fucking Virginia Madsen almost turned the part down because of the bee scene, and she's like, I'm allergic to bees. I can't do this. She actually had to go into the doctor, and like they had like the different venom from a bunch of different bees. And they're like, all right, so wasps, like they do the reaction thing. She's like, okay, you're the most allergic to wasps. So we're going to take these bees in case they sting you and shit. And she said like, it was like a horrifying experience. It was like feeling like the fuzziness. Cause that's the thing, is like at that stage, they're very fuzzy. No. She's like feeling that fuzz crawl over you. And it's just like, damn. Like,
speaking of the bees, quick note on that. The bees were bred for the film, for the purposes of the movie. They were only 12 hours old. So they had like less powerful stingers, and Tony Todd was wearing, I guess, the equivalent to like a dental dam in his throat. So those were real fucking bees in his mouth. He was stung 23 times, and he had $1,000 bonus every time he was stung. Those scenes look incredible though, don't they? Because they did it real. I mean, if it was CG, and we're getting a new Candyman this year, I believe, by filmmaker Nia DaCosta. So shout out to Nia DaCosta. I'm excited to see her version of I believe it tackles gentrification in Chicago.
Yep. So that it's a cool
they're
arc.
sticking with
goes,
Chicago, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, so what they're going from the arc of it being the projects into gentrification. So it's
supposed to be a spiritual successor. So it's not actually a reboot. It's kind of supposed to be a sequel.
And they do actually, they touch on it briefly in the original Candyman. They do like talk about how Helen's place is basically a gentrified apartment.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But, speaking of, sorry, Matt, real quick.
Oh, no, go for it.
That fucking apartment, though.
Oh,
so
nice.
Sick. Like, I literally, the whole time I was watching it, I was like, I want that bitch's apartment so bad.
I know, I was like, dude, that window, you could have so many indoor plants.
Dude, seriously?
Or how about the medicine cabinet where you could sneak through and murder your neighbor?
And kill people!
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I double checked my medicine cabinet when I moved into this place because of this fucking movie.
When do you guys think things started going to hell for Helen in Candyman?
What I was gonna say, when the little boy harbinger started fucking warning her about everything, which I had to bring that up. I was like, dude, this is so cool. A little boy harbinger, and he has all his teeth.
For me, it was she's in this bathroom outside of the projects, and a Candyman lookalike walks in, and Helen's first response was, "Oh, sorry, I'm almost done. I'll be out in a minute." like she's actually using, and this bathroom is just destroyed, covered in graffiti. She's about to get beat the fuck up, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I'll be right out." Also, what happened to her eye injury?
That disappeared real quick.
No, they did a time jump. Like, if you didn't notice, they're like, "Oh, it's been a month now." Like
I did not notice that.
The husband dropped that line to show the passage of time or whatever.
When they're at dinner.
See, that's the thing is I didn't pay attention to anything that the husband said because he's a piece of shit.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
No, like this movie does do a good job of like making sense if you pay attention. The problem is that I'm a lazy piece of shit, just like Zach, and I'm like, I know this is a good movie, and somewhere out there's a podcast that covers this in a great, amazing way that delves into all of it.
That's not us.
Yeah, that's not us.
That is nuts. But you want to talk about great movies? Here on Happy Horror Hour, we have a fucking first. A goddamn first, and I just want to make it a moment. I want us to sizzle in it. This is the first unanimous, across the board, 5-star film we have all watched, and that is 1976's Brian De Palma, Carrie. Boom, baby!
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Such a good fucking movie.
So I was like, this is the only one where I've almost felt like, I'm like, oh god, I almost need a break before I discuss this one, because this is going to be a 2-hour conversation. And like, this movie, there's so much to unpack.
This one, I think we can run it quick because Helen's storyline is quick.
We're not going to be talking about Helen.
Did you guys figure out who was Helen in this movie? Actually, I'm kind of confused.
Gabby had to show me.
Helen is Edie McClurg. You may know her as the desk assistant in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, most notably, probably. But she's, my first note in this is, all right, well, this Helen deserves whatever hell's coming for her. Because, my God.
Dude, the fucking girls in this movie, like, I fuck with this movie so hard. Like, it's like, I feel for Carrie. It's so bad what they fucking put this poor girl through. And I'm just like, I fucking hope every one of you dies a horrible, gruesome death.
Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody.
I mean, I literally put down, this movie would be so fucking hard to watch without the supernatural element. Like, if you took away the supernatural element, this is a really gritty, uncomfortable look at, like, the life of bullied children in school. For sure. And it's... Oh, God.
I think one of the hardest things to watch about, especially that intro scene, is that it's crazy to see so many women be so unsympathetic for a girl getting her first period and not knowing what that is.
Truly terrified.
And knowing that Carrie, like, doesn't know what's going on with her body. She just thinks something's wrong with her. Like, it was like one of the most sad things. And then the following scene, so you have Mr. Morton, the principal, and Miss Collins, the PE teacher, right? After this whole
Love
ordeal
Miss
happens.
Collins.
But weirdly enough, Mr. Morton is the most sympathetic character to Carrie in the whole movie almost. Not at all grossed out by the conversation about the period when he's talking about it with Miss Collins. And this is the 70s. Very, very progressive of him. And he lets Carrie take the day off, like no questions asked. Also very progressive.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool.
Good point. Good point.
Wow. All right. Point to Gabby, because I didn't even pick up on Morton. I was just mesmerized by Miss Collins. And how she's just like, fuck all you bitches.
Yeah.
Like, oh, also, by the way, sorry, just really quick. In the 70s, did you guys notice that the remedy for anxiety was to just slap the shit out of someone's face and yell at them?
Dude, are you kidding me? Like, they slapped the shit out of kids back then. Are you kidding me? Kids,
stop freaking out! Stop freaking out! Stop freaking out!
Fuck, dude, they were fucking slapping the shit out of kids.
Let's not get too critical about this movie because it's 5 stars. Everyone knows that this is a great movie. Really, what do you think Helen was up to this whole time? Like, just off the top of your head, what could Helen have been doing?
Being a snotty bitch, talking behind people's backs because that's what she does.
She was talking shit and like getting her hair done.
Helen! What? Did you hear about Tommy Ross? What? Did you hear about Tommy Ross? What? He's taking Carrie White to the prom. No. Yeah.
That's the only time I saw her.
She's like, it's like, I feel like she's that stereotype of like the school gossip or the gossip girl of like, you know, everything. Like she seems like the one that knows everything and spreads all the shit. Like I feel like she's that archetype of a character. And so
this was my least favorite Helen of the week. I think
hands down.
We're all in agreement there.
Yeah,
How did she die?
Oh,
Horribly.
she ends up falling down. It's super quick. She literally dies so fast that you probably miss it. Like she falls down, breaks her back, and then that's it.
This is the last call for alcohol this evening. Drink up, drink up, drink up, and order again.
All right, guys, welcome into Last Call. You know the drill. We're going to be talking Kill of the Week, Cocktail of the Week. Right now, I'm going to start us off with Kill of the Week. I'm going down my list. Gabby, start us off. Who do you got for Kill of the Week?
Kill of the Week.
Are we keeping it within the Helens? Because I was keeping it within the Helens.
No, Jen. Oh. All right. Give us your Helen Kill of the Week. None of us are prepared for that, but let's hear yours.
It's definitely got to be Virginia Madsen, Candyman Helen, dude.
For sure.
Dies
Yes.
and gets resurrected and then hooks her stupid cheating trash husband. It's so good.
But then she's a legend forever.
Yes.
Is she killed? Okay, her human body
Is
form.
she truly
she's
dead?
technically dead. She is technically dead.
All right, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Ben, Kill of the Week. What are you feeling?
Honestly, I kind of have to agree with Gabby, but I don't know, man. Fucking Night of the Demons. The fact that it's off screen and then she just drops dead onto a fucking car. It's just like there's so much left there. It's like, well, what happened?
Matt, who's your Kill of the Week?
So if we're talking just Helens, obviously you have to go with Virginia Madsen getting burned alive and turned into a fucking like Cenobite. Like that to me is so sick. And it actually pairs well with my original Kill of the Week, which is her fucking gutting her cheating husband.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It was so satisfactory to watch her get revenge. And like it was like when I saw that, like I think that moment really pushed it up to a 3-star for me because I went from, you know, like, dude, this is kind of boring. I don't know if I want to see more of this to holy shit, I want to see
more.
I was like, I want to see a movie where Helen is the Candyman. And they're like,
Oh, yeah.
like, dude, she's like Bloody Mary, but like, you know, like that's to me is like, that's what resonated with me as a kid was Bloody Mary 3 times. And so like Candyman 5 times. I was like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Wait, I do have a question though, real quick about Candyman. So does it reset? Like, what's the time frame there? So like if I say Candyman and then like I wait a little bit and then I say Candyman again, like how does that work? because I don't want to say Candyman 5. I've said it 3 times in this podcast.
Like a time
I'm kind
trial.
of freaking out, guys.
Which, by the way, you're looking at yourself, right? You are looking at yourself. You
shut your mouth.
So
I live alone and I'm terrified.
I'm like sitting there. I'm gonna sit here for the rest of the fucking day trying to figure out, like, oh, is my reflection in a TV screen count as Candyman? Like, what are the rules? Like, god damn it.
What are the rules? Oh Christ, I'm singing again. What are the rules?
Like,
That's what I'm saying. What are the rules?
Dude, there's no way Candyman saw HD coming.
You for sure said it 5 times by now.
My kill of the week is, well, I'll do a quick Helen one. I'm going to go with Sarah Michelle Gellar because getting killed in a stack of tires is hilarious. But my actual kill of the week was Johnny Galecki getting it through the fucking jaw.
Ooh. Through the fucking
That is
chin.
just, so the audience knows he gets a hook jammed in through his chin up into his face. That, guys, like, I thought that was going to be a unanimous, like, we'd all be like, yeah, Galecki got the worst of it.
Talk about a palate cleanser.
Oh,
am I right?
Wait, hold on. That's good. But what I was going to say is, Zach, I agree with you. That would have been my kill of the week, but I thought we were going Helens.
Wait,
Yeah.
which, by the way, so you think that wussy, like, fucking hook of, like, oh, I'm just gonna cut through, like, 2 inches of him is more than Candy, like, fucking Helen busting out, like, the bloodiest fucking hook you've ever seen in your entire life and splitting this dude from dick to chin? You really think...
Bro, listen. The dick to chin kill, by the way, you are going to bleed out really soon. Whereas through just the face, you're alive for a while. In pain.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like it went into his brain.
Right.
Which begs the point of the sister that gets hooked in the stomach once. She did not die quick. She would be writhing on the ground like, ah!
Oh, you're talking about Elsa and I Know What You Did?
And then, dude, when he picks her up by the hook and is dragging her, she would still be screaming. Like, she would still be alive. You fucking...
She might not
She
be
could have
screaming
passed
because
out
she might
from
be in
shock.
shock at that point.
Yeah, shock.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are our kills of the week.
Oh, yeah. Give me that cocktail of the week.
I'm going to lead us off because fuck you guys.
Yes. I want to hear it.
Here is my cocktail of the week. I'm going to start off with the name of the cocktail. The name of my cocktail is The Bloody Helen.
Oh.
Okay. You start off with unnecessary elderly abuse, and with this you can use either verbal or physical. It's really just a personal preference. Make sure you have 3 to 4 razor blades, just so the cocktail really really coats the throat. You want to go 3/4 ounces of honeys, fresh bees, please, just newborn bees, and stir it all with a rusty hook. Serve it up in a martini glass, and you want to float pig's blood on it. Boom! The Bloody Helen! Here we go!
You know why you wanted to go first?
I don't want to go anywhere.
The reason why you wanted to go first is because he took all the obvious elements and he's like, oh shit, literally everyone's gonna use this, so I'm gonna go first. I fucking know that's why you did it. His motivation wasn't because he thought it was better. No, he knew everyone's gonna stir their fucking drink with the hook because it's so obvious.
No.
It is so
I left
obvious.
the hook out of it.
No.
I left the hook out of mine.
Gabby and Ben said they both left the hook out of theirs. You are wrong, sir.
All right. Well, then I will
Matt,
get
if
my
you have a
hook
hook, go ahead and
involved.
throw yours in.
All right.
Show us your hook.
So here's the thing.
Show us your hook.
My cocktail requires a price of admission.
Hold on. Stop everything. Gabby gets a fucking point. Hold
What'd
on.
she say?
Hold on.
Show us your hook.
Does that mean you have a bent dick?
I feel like we're just throwing points out for fucking bullshit at this point, but whatever.
Alrighty, my drink requires a price of admission, which is 4 punch tickets. And then you fill a shaker with some pig's blood and shivery ice, shake it up, and then drop that shaker from at least 2 stories. Add some honey, stir with a hook, and serve in a beautiful glass shot that shows all of the main characters.
Oh.
Interesting.
That was good.
Interesting.
That's good.
That's interesting.
Okay, so I am not naming my cocktails, but 4 ounces of hot young adults, 2 ounces of sweet revenge, rim the glass with honey, garnished with fish hooks and bees, I guess.
Nice. I like it.
I like it.
Nice.
classy.
Fuck. I forgot bees. Fuck. That was one of those ones I needed to add.
So for my cocktail, I'm going to be doing, it's 1.5 ounces of fresh pig's blood, but it has to be kept in a bucket overnight and must be dropped from the rafters of a high school gymnasium. After that, it's equal parts nipple lipstick and teenagers casually murdering and disposing of a body. And then you serve that bitch in a stemmed glass with a candy-coated rim. And that's how you get the everything goes to hell for Helen Cosmopolitan.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Nice.
My vote's for Ben.
My vote's for Zach.
Guys, I said start off with unnecessary elderly abuse, and you can either use verbal or physical. It's your personal preference. That line alone should get me your vote.
I'm going with Zach. He like touched on everything, like, and he fucking.
I
like,
touched on literally every movie we watched.
Yours is too specific.
No, he touched on everything as well, and he did it quicker.
3 to 4 razor blades so your cocktail can coat the throat.
Yeah, no.
I feel like it was definitely not quicker either.
This is gold. This is gold.
No, like he threw some real creativity in there. Once again, dude, yours was really fucking good. Like, that's the thing, is me
I
saying
still am
that I
holding on
picked
to.
Zach.
You haven't changed my vote. My vote's still for Ben.
Well, it's a tie
Thank you,
because
Gabby.
it's a tie because
You can't vote for yourself.
yeah, but I'm gonna vote for you, and then
You're gonna vote for me, right?
oh well, then I vote for Gabby. Like,
Oh, you piece of shit!
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to the Happy Horror Hour podcast. This has been Everything Goes to Hell for Helen. I'm Zach.
I'm Ben.
I'm Matt.
And I'm your final girl, Gabby. Show me your hook.
That's definitely that has to be the inspiration for Kathy Bates in Waterboy, right? Like, that's
Oh my god,
be.
oh dude, I literally wrote it in my notes. I was like,
for
that
Zach.
Tommy Ross is the devil!
I'm taking it. I'm taking that point.
Oh yeah, point for Zach on that one.
Motherfucker, you got to before I could.
These facts